Good morning. We are going to get started in just a few moments, so if you can start making your way to your seats. If you're not sure where that seat is, you can check with the ladies right outside the door at the registration table. And if you are a parent or grandparent or significant family member or other who's here to watch some of our amazing students, we do have some special reserved seating right over here to my left. We'll get started in about 1 minute. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to our very first State of the District convening. We are thrilled to have you all joining us this morning. We have a wonderful time in store for all of us as we get started here. But before we begin, what I would very first like to do, and you can see we've got a lot of folks up here, is welcome our very own Mount Whitney High School Jazz Band. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you all so much for sharing with us in the back. We will get started here. So if you could, we have 3 different student groups who will be supporting us this morning. So I'm going to ask you to stand throughout. At this time, if you would, please stand and welcome our Mount Whitney High School Cadet Corps Color Guard. And now our Mount Whitney High School choir will lead us in the national anthem. Thank you very much. Please remain standing. Our Mountain View Vista Dual Immersion first graders will be leading us in our Pledge of Allegiance, and they will be coming out right now. Our first grade students in our dual immersion program will first be leading us in the pledge in English, and then they will lead us in the pledge in Spanish as well. Thank you so much, Mountain View Vista first grade class. We appreciate that. You may be seated. And I do want to apologize. In my haste, the Redwood Choir, not the Mount Whitney Choir, and our jazz band is leaving out the back door, but you may not have seen them. They were playing all the way through as we walked in. I want to take a quick moment to welcome some of our guests this morning. First, we have our Visalia Unified School District Board of Education, and representing our Unified Governance team here this morning is our Board President, Walter Gamoyan, Board Clerk, Jackie Gaby, and board members. I'm looking here, Dr. Todd Odo. Please stand when I call out your name, Dr. Randy Villegas, Board Member Megan Caspear-Solano, Board Member Board Member Joy Naylor. I believe I got them all. And Board Member Paul Belt, excuse me. Thank you so much. They're hidden in different spots. I'd also like to welcome any of our local and state dignitaries. If you are here representing a local or state agency, please stand so we can recognize you. There we go. Thank you very much. And also, anyone who helped make this event possible this morning and helped put this together, if you would, please stand at this moment. They're already standing because they're bustling about, making sure everything goes well. So thank you all so very much. We really do appreciate your hard work in putting this all together. Obviously, we are here for a very specific reason, and that is because we are a school district and we are here for kids. And so I definitely want to thank all of our students and our teachers and staff who've contributed to this morning and helped put this together. As you look around you, you're noticing all the different things that are sort of a part of this event, and I want to just point your quick attention. In your program, you'll find the list of student-made products, but you'll see on our tables there are a culinary program piece for the breakfast. The El Diamante High School Culinary Program helped put together. Our El Diamante and Golden West students help arrange the flower arrangements and centerpieces on your table. And then also our Mount Whitney High School team helped with the graphic design work. And so again, all of this done for students, but also done by students. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our Visalia Education Foundation for their over 25-year partnership with Visalia Unified School District. At this time, I want to turn our attention to the screens. We'll watch a quick video.
About 5 years ago, I saw an email from Visalia Education Foundation that they were offering grants. And I had this vision to get a robot that I really loved, so I went ahead and applied, and I was awarded my first grant.
Every year when I see that email, if I have something cooking, I'll apply for one of the grants.
I love how the foundation, they offer multiple levels of grants, and a teacher has an idea, they just fill out a form, and they can often get funded for just a little project.
The effect of having the grants provides opportunities for students to really excel and to learn new skills, and excites them. And I'm hoping that they'll get a passion for engineering, art, math, and maybe pursue a career in that in the future.
So on your tables, you will find commitment cards for both student scholarships and teacher grants. Should you be willing, you can either leave those cards at the table or you can drop them off at the Visalia Ed Foundation table at the back of the room here. So at this time, I am very pleased to introduce our student representative from Mount Whitney High School, Ms. Camille Samaran.
Good morning and welcome to our first State of the District. Welcome to Mount Whitney High School and our amazing gym. I have the pleasure of introducing our superintendent, Mr. Kirk Sherm. Mr. Sherm came to Visalia in May of 2020, in a little more than a year. He has made a positive impact in our lives as students, and I'm sure with you. Before coming to Visalia, Mr. Sherm held various positions in education, including teacher, assistant principal, director, and chief of schools. He came from a family of educators and loves spending time in classrooms being with students and teachers. He will share with us what has been happening in Visalia Unified for the past year. So get ready. Here is Superintendent Mr. Kirk Sherm.
Well, good morning. Thank you all for being here. What a great way to start the day, hearing and listening to the best we have here in Visalia, from our student leaders to our youngest students to some of our high school students, and just showcasing their talent. You know, every morning when I wake up, I think about, I just have the best job in the world. I get to wake up every day and work with amazing educators, work with amazing students, and work with an amazing community. And what a privilege and an honor that is every day. And so thank you all for being here and giving us just this opportunity to share a little bit about what makes Visalia Unified such a special place to live, to work, and to go to school. And I also want to echo thank you to Mount Whitney, thank you to Redwood, Mountain View, and all the other schools that we have represented, El Diamante. Thank you to our guests. And also want to echo and give a special shout out to the team that helped make this possible. They were here last night, probably past midnight, and they were here this morning way before the sun rose to help put this event together. So to all of those individuals, at the risk of missing somebody, I'm not going to name them all, but they know who they are and they know how important they are to this district, but whether they're behind the scenes or in front of the scenes. And thank you to all our technical support teams as well. So I just also want to give a round of applause, and I am going to make them stand up because I'm seeing and looking. And so Andre and team and Matt Terry and all those folks, our office team, Delia, Felisa, you all stand up. Listen, I do want to give you a quick round of applause. And I like to say we have a small but mighty communications team, and you see them here taking photos. I should say national award-winning and state award-winning communications team, because it's important that we tell our story. There are so many great things happening in Visalia Unified that if we don't tell our story, people may not know. And so thank you to that team, and thank you being here today, because this is part of telling our story. We're proud of what we do every day in Visalia, and we want our community to be proud of that as well. And so I'm excited today to share a little bit and highlight some of the great things happening in our district. And that begins with the Board of Education. A successful school district just doesn't happen. It takes a unified governance team that's focused on student outcomes, that's focused on making sure every student can learn and the conditions are set for that learning to occur. Our Board of Education creates the conditions for the district to be successful. The district creates the conditions for our schools and our school leaders to be successful. They, in turn, create the conditions for teachers to be successful, who create the conditions for our students to be successful. But it all begins with our community, who elect a Board of Education. And I'm proud in this district that our Board of Education, all 7 of our trustees, are focused on ensuring every student can learn at the highest level. It begins with the board. It begins with creating a foundation. And when I was privileged to be called to be superintendent here in Visalia, we came together last summer, the Board of Education, and really spent some time thinking about what does it mean to be a successful school system? What do we believe and what are we committed to doing? Because if we declare those things, then not only will our community know that, but it also provides a bit of a North Star, a bit of a compass, and a bit of a direction for us to go. It begins to lay the foundation from which we will build and ensure we have a high-performing school system. And so our board came together and created one of our first policies together, one of our first foundational policies called our core beliefs and commitments. Let's listen to their voices.
Hello, Visalia Unified Community. I am Board President Walter Gamoyan, and I am pleased to share with you our core beliefs and commitments that were unanimously approved by the Board of Education.
We believe and are committed to
all students can achieve at high levels and demonstrate continuous growth. providing high-quality learning experiences that allow all students to reach their fullest potential.
Equipping students and staff with the educational tools necessary for achievement and growth.
Family and community engagement is key to student success.
Providing families and community members pathways of connectivity to the education system.
Facilitating timely and consistent communication to position families to participate in their students' learning experiences.
Learning environments should be safe, supportive, and innovative.
Creating physical and social emotional safety in all learning environments.
Providing all students the academic and social supports needed to be successful.
Designing learning environments that drive innovative practices to improve student outcomes.
Ensuring all students are known by their name, welcome each day, and connected to meaningful activities.
These beliefs and commitments are foundational to the work of the board and our district. They are a declaration by the board on what we believe and the commitments we are making to ensure students and staff are successful.
I believe in.
I belong in.
I am VUSD.
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 Thank you. Let's give a round of applause again to our Board of Trustees, our Board of Education. And if they would, please stand for just a minute. I would like for them to be recognized once again. I know they don't like the attention, but they deserve it. Thank you. Thank you. Your courageous and authentic student-centered leadership and what you do every day helps create the conditions for everything we saw this morning and for everything that we do every day. This is a hardworking Board of Education that's a unified governance team, and I am privileged and proud to work for them. But they didn't just stop with creating the beliefs and commitments. They said, well, now that we've declared what we believe and we're committed to doing and what we want to see for every student and teacher in Visalia, now how do we go about making that happen? And so the journey of creating our strong foundation continued. A mission and vision was created that says that we expect every student to learn every day. That's what a public school system is about. Every student learning every day. They created what we call our commitment for student learning, which is our theory of action, which spells out what and how we're going to do it. And so they provided a strong foundation from which we can now build. And I'm proud to say, because of that, our foundation and the state of our district is strong because of our Board of Education. Thank you for your work and your visionary leadership. So, creating the conditions is now what we have to do. How do we create the conditions to make our beliefs and commitments come to life? How do we make that foundation become the reality across the district, from the boardroom to the classroom? And so that begins with setting the conditions. And we've worked tirelessly this past year to help create conditions within our district for students and staff, community, parents, and others to be successful. Let's listen to a few voices that are going to share a little bit about the conditions that we are continuing to create here in Visalia Unified.
One positive changes I've seen since last year is the additional counselors that we have that majorly focuses on our academies.
One of the positive and great things that I love about Divisadero is we have so much support from our administration. That includes the office staff as well as our principals and assistant principals. They are fantastic and just love our students, and you can tell it all the time.
One of the positive changes I've noticed this year is being fully staffed has made our team more efficient.
One of the positive changes that I've noticed since last year was a new teacher that will help me out with math.
Since last year, a positive change I've noticed is teacher collaboration with the priority standards in our district.
What I've noticed this last school year is the recognition that everyone's job is essential.
One of the new improvements that I have seen in Goshen School is that we have a brand new orchestra teacher, and she teaches us all about music and instruments.
A positive change I have noticed this year for my deaf student is more support from his teacher.
Let's give it up for all of our teachers and students every day. It's stories like those that show we're on the right track. Yes, we've got a lot of work to do, but our job is to create the conditions for our students to learn every day, to experience new and exciting things, and for our staff to be able to work in an environment that's supportive and conducive for them being able to do the very best that they can do. And so it takes a team to create those conditions. It takes a community to create those conditions. And I want to highlight a few of our teams that work every day to create those conditions for our students to learn and our teachers to teach. I want to start with our financial stewardship. We have a budget now, operating budget of over $600 million. And it's very important that those dollars are spent wisely, thanks to our board who helps develop and helps and approves a budget. But it takes a team to create those conditions to make sure that we are distributing our resources equitably and that every school, every student, every teacher has what they need. And so I'd like to give a shout out to Chief Business Officer and our business division, Nathan Hernandez. Would you all please stand and be recognized? And I'm sure our teachers appreciate the paycheck, which is also that team as well. It takes a lot of people working behind the scenes to make those things happen, and we're very proud of that team. Thank you for the work that you do, not only focusing on numbers, but the students that those numbers represent. That's why the state of our finances are strong. But finances are just part of the condition that we have to create. We have to have a team. We have to have a staff. We have to have teachers that come to work every day. You heard in the video about being fully staffed. Those are such critical things. And so we're amazed, and we're thankful to have amazing partners with us from our labor unions that help to do that. CSEA, our Classified Employee Association, and VUTA, our Certificated Teacher Association. I'd like to acknowledge those two presidents at this time, Ms. Lopez and Mr. Price, for their leadership in helping us create the conditions so that we can have a staff that's supported and able to work every day. Would you two please stand and be recognized? Their work, along with that work of our Human Resources Division, our Assistant Superintendent Ben Dillon and his team, would that team please stand and be recognized? This past year, that collective work resulted in the largest pay increase for both our classified and certificated employees, I believe in history of Visalia Unified, and a record time approval with record vote of that contract. That doesn't happen without people coming together, focusing on our employees and our students. And so the state of our district, the state of our employees are strong, thankful to this team for their work and their effort. Additionally, with that this year, I might point out another unique thing in Visalia Unified is that we have an amazing medical clinic. I've had the opportunity to visit. I can tell you it's amazing. But what we did, and so that's free of charge for our employees. And this past year, through the contract negotiations, that opportunity was now extended to every full-time and part-time employee, whether they're certificated or classified, because we know it's important that we have a healthy staff and they're able to get access to medical care when they need it. Thank you to those teams for making that happen. That's truly special here in Visalia Unified. But creating the conditions, we've talked about finances, staffing, but what about resources? What about facilities that we're learning in? Our students have to be able to learn in safe and secure learning environments. We heard, and our board heard in the superintendent search survey, that we needed attention and time spent with academics, safety and security, and communication. And when it comes to those investments in personnel and safety and security, our Board of Education has made over $14 million worth of investments to create safe, supportive, and innovative learning environments. $12.8 million in counselors, elementary staff, social workers, psychologists. We know that those individuals are critical to helping making sure our students are positioned to learn every day. Over $2 million investment in systems and partnerships to keep our schools safe, and partnerships including Alice, Raptor, TransFinder, Campus Life. I'm going to talk a little bit about what those are because it's really important. We live in a society now where school safety is important, and we have to talk about it, and we have to be prepared for unthinkable things. Because sadly, we see across the nation some of those unthinkable things are happening. And so last year, our Board of Education knew that training our staff was so important that we actually modified our school calendar, created some early release days, and during the matter of a week, we trained every single employee in this district in Alice active shooter training so that they're prepared and equipped and know what to do should an emergency occur. Thank you to our Board of Education for, again, creating the conditions to allow us to do that. For our parents, sometimes you wonder, is my kid on the right bus? Did they even get on the bus? When's the bus coming? It's late. We now have invested in TransFinder and StopFinder, which is an app-based system. And so our students now, when they get on and off a bus, will scan, and so we know what bus they're on. And it also alerts parents, kind of like when Amazon, Amazon's 6 stops away or that sort of thing. Now our parents can have that app, and so they know, oh, my kid's home, they're on their way, or the bus is delayed. Just another example of investments in safety and security. In addition to that, if you've visited a school recently, you know that you have to scan your ID. You have to get a badge, and you have to wear that when you're on campus. Part of that is because making sure we know who's on our campuses is critical to creating safe and secure learning environments. So we invested in a Raptor system, which not only is our visitor volunteer-based system, but it also provides an alert system within the school. So with the press of a button, a principal or even a staff member can put their school into a lockdown. And we know in emergencies, every second counts. And these are not things that we like to talk about, but they're things that we have to talk about because we have to be prepared and we have to be ready. And I am confident that we are, thanks to the investments of our Board of Education. So thank you for investing in the safety and security of our students. But even when all of those things are done, it still comes down to partnerships. We're part of an amazing community that we see reflected here today. And I'd like to highlight our strong partnership with the city that also includes our fire and our police departments. I've been privileged to work in multiple systems where we do have caring communities, but I have never been in a school system or a community where I have seen the level of involvement and support all the way from our city and our mayor, thank you for being here today, all the way down through our fire chief and our police chief. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our city officials, our police chief Salazar, fire chief Griswold, our mayor, and other elected officials from the city. If you all would please stand and be recognized. That partnership, your partnership, not only helps to make this community strong, but help make this school system strong as well. Thank you. And also, these partnerships don't just happen. We have amazing partnerships this year that we're continuing to cultivate and develop, from Champions to Campus Life and to others. And so it takes amazing partners to be willing to partner with us and come every day and say, how can we help your kids? Pro Youth and others. If you represent one of our partner organizations that's here today, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you for what you do every day. You know, it used to be in some places the bell rings. Amazing timing, right? The bell rings, kids go home, right? Well, that's no longer the case in Visalia Unified. Whether it's the summer or after school, we have robust programs available for our students to be able to engage in athletic events, to be able to engage in drama and other play events. It's just amazing what's happening in our schools after school and through the summer with these enrichment programs that are free of charge and open to every single student in Visalia Unified. I'd like to thank Andy DeMeo and our student services team for all of their work in helping shepherd these programs. Would you all please stand and be recognized? But at the end of the day, what matters most, and all of those things are important, is whether or not our students are learning. We've talked about some of the conditions that need to exist for that to happen, but student achievement is our purpose, making sure our students are ready to learn and our teachers are ready to teach. Let's hear just how important this is from some of the voices of our students.
So there was a point in my life that if you were to tell me I would be here in 4 years, I wouldn't believe you. A great contribution to that has been the support that I get here at VTech. One example in particular, I talked to my vice principal, Ms. Diaz. I told her that I wanted to drop a class because I was feeling a little overwhelmed. Her response to me was, "What do you need? How can I help you so that you can follow through with these classes?" That endless support has been a great contribution to my success.
Having that opportunity of having dual enrollment classes at COS is one of the main reasons why I'm successful here at VTech. Being able to go to classes with older students, get a perspective at the college life, and here on campus as well. There has been a class that I really enjoyed, which is horticulture, and you get to do more hands-on learning. It is a very welcoming environment, and that is why I love VTech.
Some of the struggles I've had before coming to VTech were not being able to learn fast. And then when I came here to VTech is when I improved. Everything changed. My grades have changed. My listening skills have changed. Everything has changed since I moved here to VTech. What has allowed me to be more successful here at VTech is to have a purpose. I want to go to a 4-year. I want to have a good education. Without the hands-on learning here at VTech, I will not be as successful in life as I am today.
Let's give a round of applause to our students. It takes courage to share your story, but it's those stories that we learn from. And that's just one small snapshot of the amazing learning opportunities that exist across every single one of our campuses across this district. Whether it's technical education, academic, whatever it might be, I am proud of the programs that we have here in Visalia Unified and proud of our students for taking advantage and coming to school ready to learn. What an amazing story that is. It's up to us to celebrate their backgrounds, sharpen and build new skills so that they can achieve their goals. Those students are going places. They talked about adversity early on, but they also talked about staff and teachers that were there when they needed it, that took the time to say, hey, what do you need? What can I do for you? And then went to work figuring out how we can make that dream or that goal a reality. So I want to take a moment to recognize what I think are the best in the business, our teachers, our paraprofessionals, and our staff for being relentlessly intentional about ensuring every student has what they need to be successful. That is our job. So teachers across this district, our support staff that are in our schools, our people, our staff and team that work with students every day, let's give them the loudest applause that we've had so far today. They're the backbone of this system, and they make those dreams and those goals become reality for our students. But they also need support, and so it takes an amazing leadership team across all of our school sites to support our teachers and our staff to do that work. And so I would like for our staff leaders, our principals in the room, to please stand and be recognized for your work. We've also mentioned community, and there's one other piece, two other pieces really, that help make those stories a reality. First are the students themselves. Thank you to our amazing students, over 32,000 from pre-K through adult that walk into our buildings through our doorways every day. Thank you to our students. We heard some of their talent today. And also thank you to our families and our parents that support their students on their educational pathway and their journey. We could not do it without the partnership that exists between our community, our parents, our students, and our staff. That's what really makes Visalia Unified special. So thank you to everyone. And when we think about student achievement, we hear those stories, which are very powerful. But we look at data overall to think about the health of our system. How are all of our students doing? Are we experiencing success with just a few? Or do we have success with all? We're a large system, one of the largest in the state, and that's why it's important that we keep a pulse check on the health of our system through our data. And we know as a system, we're pleased with some of the indicators that we see, but we are not satisfied overall. One of the first things people told me when I came here, and then recently there was a report out not too long ago that talked about the educational attainment level in the Valley, Central Valley specifically, as being one of the lowest. And when people talk about that, it almost is this acceptance. Well, that's just how it is. It's the Valley. That's just what it is. I don't think it has to be that way. I think those of us that are in this room and in our school campuses across the district, we can write a new story for student achievement. But it won't happen if we just keep doing the same things we've always done. And it won't just happen if we simply accept that that's the best we can do. We just heard powerful stories. There are students like that all across this district who just need someone to say, what can I do to help you? And set them on that path and make sure they have the tools that they need to succeed. We can change the story of educational attainment in the Valley. We are pleased with some of our results, but we are not satisfied. And one of the things that our teachers are doing every week is engaging in what we call professional learning communities, where they come together and they talk about what are our students learning? How do we know if they're learning? What do we do if they're successful? And what do we do if they're not successful? And it's when they engage in those conversations, they can make real-time changes based on the data and based on what they see out of their student performances. And we had some great school levels this past year who did just that and had amazing student growth. So I'd like to give a shout out to those schools, you see them on the screen, for coming together and producing some tremendous student growth because they were intentional about what their students were learning and what they were going to do to help improve those outcomes. So congratulations to those schools and those teachers, the ELA and math teams. Great job. They worked together to make sure every student had what they needed to be successful. When we look at our overall achievement data, we see that we are not quite yet back to the levels we were achievement-wise prior to the pandemic. We're still dealing with the repercussions of that and the consequences for student learning. But that's why we come to work every day to help our students fill in the gaps and accelerate their learning. And so while we saw a little bit of growth from this past 2 years, again, it's not the growth that we need to see. And we're continuing to work as a system on what do we do to remove barriers so that every student can learn. One of the things that we're doing is increasing our partnerships to do just that, to let our students know that they have a pathway after high school. And so this past year, I'm proud to celebrate that we created 3 guaranteed admission programs with Fresno Pacific, UC Merced, and the Bulldog Bound Initiative at Fresno State. Students as early as 9th grade can take part of these initiatives, especially our Bulldog Bound Initiative. I believe some students are about to be invited to join that initiative. As early as 9th grade, they're going to get an ID card. They're going to get access to a college-level library. They're going to have summer opportunities. And whether or not they go to Fresno State or not, they're going to have an amazing experience because college and a university pathway can be in every student's future. And part of the work to make sure that happens is that they come out of high school having taken a sequence of courses that we call A through G. When you take that sequence of courses, it opens the door to admission to UC and California State schools. And so we want to make sure that our students come out of high school equipped to be able to pursue any path that they may wish. And we saw tremendous growth in several of our schools and overall in the percentage of our students that were A through G qualified. And we have to give a shout out to El Diamante High School for double-digit increases in that percentage. That means they now have more students than ever before that have doors open to them that now they can walk through. Thank you to El Diamante, all of our counselors, learning directors across all of our high schools for being intentional about our students taking the courses they need to be able to pursue their chosen path. Thank you. And we're a wonderfully diverse community. That's what makes Visalia special. That's what drew me here, the diversity of our community and the strength and the wealth that comes from that. And so 15% of our students are English language learners. That means they speak another language at home other than English. And why is it important that we focus on English language proficiency? Well, for students who are not English language proficient, they have to take certain support classes to get them where they need to be. But those classes compete and cause those students to not be able to maybe take certain additional classes, AVID, VAPA, and some and sports and some other things. And so to become English proficient means that they have more opportunity within their schedule to pursue and take advantage of the great things that we have to offer here in Visalia Unified. That's why reclassifying students is a priority for us. And this past year, thanks to the team and our principals and our teachers for being relentlessly intentional about that, we reclassified more students in Visalia Unified than ever before. Let's give a shout out to those students and those teams. That means now those students have more enrichment opportunities open to them than before. I want to thank Assistant Superintendent Mark Thompson and our Learning and Leadership Division for all of their work to create the conditions for our students to learn and achieve every day. Would you all please stand and be recognized? It takes everyone in this room to be courageous and relentlessly intentional to ensure that every student is empowered to achieve future success. Our goal is to transform Visalia and Tulare County from one of the lowest educational attainment communities to the highest. And I'm confident we have the people and we have the students that can make that happen. It's an exciting journey that we're on. And one of the ways we're going to do that is making sure every student is connected to something meaningful. Let's listen to the voices from some of our students and staff about just how important being connected is.
I could definitely say being a leader in the sport of wrestling, a sport that I've done the majority of my whole life. I trained about 13 years. It's an incredible feeling. Growing up, I was always looking for women role models to look up to in the sport. Unfortunately, there wasn't too many. So knowing that now that I'm older, I am definitely one of the role models to the younger ones who are just getting to the sport, starting young, starting a little bit older, and being able to show them what I've accomplished and what I've done to accomplish it. It's an amazing feeling, and I'm just completely grateful.
Visalia Unified is a great place to work. I feel in my experience, I've received so much support that it's allowed me to enjoy just the day-to-day teaching in a classroom, and that makes it fun. Also, with the district our size, I knew that the network of professionals I would be surrounded by was going to be valuable and large, and I knew that I would have the resources to grow into the educator that I want to be.
Woodworking to me has always been really inspiring because it's able to push both my creativity and myself. Seeing the projects be put together piece by piece, it's really rewarding to me, and I find it very fun because I'm very passionate about it. I like to join different clubs that revolve around woodshop. Like right now I'm in Skills USA and I'm planning to go on to trade school for my future. When I first started, I didn't even know all the things that were possible until I actually started. I started making projects, designing them, and I really want to help other people realize that it's possible to do pretty much anything when you put your mind to it.
I appreciate Visalia Unified because it aims to ensure that every student grows up knowing that they belong and that they are important to us.
Let's give a shout out to all of our students, our teachers, our coaches that work to make sure every student is connected every day to something meaningful. School connectedness is vital. When students feel that adults and peers in school care about their learning, as well as them as individuals, they feel cared for. We know statistically the data is proven. Students who are connected and involved feel better about themselves, they have better attendance, and they have better grades. That's why our Board of Education launched what we call our One Visalia Connected initiative, where we're seeking to partner with our community, strengthen not only external partnerships, but our internal pathways and programs, and you saw a few of those shared in that video. It's through those mentorships, internships, tutors, and so many more, campus life, all of those opportunities for students, sports, VAPA, that help students be connected. Thank you to everyone, whether you're in this room, an internal partner or an external community partner, for creating these opportunities for our students to be connected. Thank you. Another way that we work to make sure our students are connected is through listening to their voices. And so I have the privilege every few months to meet with a group of my student advisors, all the way from our student board member representatives, all the way down through our elementary school with our student advisories. Now, I will tell you, they're very candid about what's going on in their classroom. So you don't have to worry about, as the superintendent, getting unfiltered information. I can assure you the answer is yes, because they are passionate about what happens in their classroom. They're passionate about their futures. We have to make sure that every student knows how to advocate for themselves, just like we heard in the video from our VTech students. Because when they're able to advocate for themselves and say what they need, and we're able to listen, then again, we're going to make sure their futures are bright. And so, how are we going to do those things? How are we going to make sure everyone's connected? How are we going to make sure everyone's learning? We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But one of the highlights of today is, of course, getting ready and being able to listen to our students perform and their voice. And so I'm privileged to be able to introduce the Mount Whitney High School dance team. That's just yet another way students can be connected through school-based opportunities. And so I think if we're ready, I'm going to exit the stage and we're going to have our Mount Whitney dance team come and do a performance. I will not be performing with them. I know some people are probably asking that. But what a great way for our students to be connected. Thank you to these students and the adults and the staff, the parents that work every day to provide these opportunities for our students. I'd like to introduce our Mount Whitney High School dance team. Thank you to the Mount Whitney High School dance team. Great job. I can't match that energy, but that's why we have connectedness programs like that. What a great job. And, you know, again, part of today was to showcase the amazing talent of our students and the amazing wealth of opportunity that we provide here in Visalia Unified. So thank you again to those students. What a tremendous, great job. So we've spent a few minutes today talking about where we've been. But we must always keep an eye on where we're going. This grounds our future. Our youngest students depend on us every day to put them on the right pathway to success. How we make sure we connect with them. How we make sure we provide opportunity for them to explore their talent and for them to learn and see a futures open up for them that they may never have imagined were possible before. So let's take just a minute or two to listen to some of the youngest voices that we have here in Visalia Unified.
I want to be a teacher like my mom. I like to eat with my mom, and I cook every day when I get bigger. A teacher. A police officer. I like to be a police because I like to be a police. I like being, I work in the cemetery. A police officer. A doctor. I want to be a dinosaur when I grow up. It's gonna be a dinosaur? No, it's gonna be a teacher. A police officer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a dancer. A teacher. What does Copera? I want to be a police ballerina. Ballerina. I want to be a ballerina. I like to be a singer. A ballerina. Be a police officer. So I can be a doctor and then take care of my grandpa.
Let's give it up for our youngest students and their dreams. You know, today, every single one of those students looks up to us. They look up to their teacher. They look up to their community heroes. They look up to dinosaurs. That whatever it might be, right? They look to us. They look to their parents. And they have dreams. Amazing dreams. And while today they look to us, tomorrow we'll be looking to them because they are our future doctors, our future teachers, our future police officers. And what we do today, what we do every day in our classroom, will help determine that future. And so what a powerful job we have. What a powerful responsibility we have in this community to make sure we create the conditions every day for those students to see their future and to achieve. And so how are we going to do that? How are we going to make sure all of our conditions are set, our facilities are ready? What does that look like in Visalia Unified this year, next year, and many years going forward? We are creating our strategic plan, a community-driven blueprint for Visalia that's going to specify and spell out how we're going to do this, how we're going to make sure our students can learn in amazing facilities, how we can make sure we provide enriching opportunities and core instruction every day. Many people in this room participated in our surveys and in our community meetings. We heard from over 12,000 voices that talked about what they want to see for the future in Visalia Unified, how we're going to provide that clear direction. And that plan is just one of a couple that we're creating. Along with a strategic plan that's going to chart out our future, we're embarking on and creating a long-range facilities master plan to help determine how our city, as it grows, how are we building schools, or how are we making sure our facilities are ready for the growth that's existing. And not only new facilities, but how are we taking care of some of our facilities that currently exist. And you're sitting in an example of that. Underway in this district is a great modernization effort from our science labs to other learning spaces so our students can learn in the best, most modern spaces possible. And again, this gym is an example of a space that was just recently modified, and what a beautiful facility we're in. And so I'd like our facilities team, our operations, and our Chief Operations Officer, Eric Kerr, if their teams could stand and be recognized for their outstanding work. Every student and every teacher deserves to learn in a safe and supportive and innovative learning environment. And it's not only important for those individuals, it's important for our community. When our community and our business community and the city is looking to attract business and jobs to the community, one of the first things people ask is, well, what are the schools like? Where will my kid go to school? That determines sometimes whether a company relocates or whether people want to invest in our public school system. And so today and other efforts that are underway are just one way we want to make sure our community knows we have a product you can be proud of. Yes, we have work to do, but we have a strong foundation thanks to our Board of Education. We're developing a strategic plan that's going to help us get from where we are today to where we need to be. And we have amazing students, amazing families, parents, and an amazing community that all come together to support every single one of our learners. It's because of you that our system is going to succeed. It's because of you that I'm able to say the state of our district is strong, stable, and focused. And I want to say thank you for being part of Visalia Unified as we are part of Visalia. Thank you. And again, but as we wrap it up, we wanted to give the opportunity for you to hear again from some of our amazing students that really are about the future. Oh. Trying to see if they are here. They're not here. Do we know their time? Okay. Sorry, we have one more student in entertainment, but you know how sometimes travel and those things happen. And so we're going to try to give them just a couple of minutes to get here. And so we're going to check on their time to see if that's going to be possible. And so we'll just take a short little coffee break. And I'll be back in just a minute with an update on that time to see if we're going to be able to have those last students perform for you here today. So if you would, again, at your tables, we have across all of our tables representation from our community, our principals, our staff, and I'd love for you just to take a few minutes. Introduce yourself if you didn't have the chance to do that. I know some of you are at tables where you may not know each other, so take a minute to introduce yourself, and if you would, love for you to reflect on what you heard today. We'll be back in just a minute. Also enjoy the great food at your table if you haven't had a chance to do that. All right, we have a quick update. Our students are just a couple of minutes away, so please continue to enjoy. If you need to go, that's okay, but hopefully you can stay and listen to our students. They'll be here in just a minute. We're really proud of them for coming all this way. Thank you again for being here today. We're proud of the work we have to do in the district, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes with our closing act. Welcome back. And if you would, please return to your tables. It was great to hear all of the conversation. Thank you so much for our community partners, our staff, for being able to mingle and spend a few minutes getting to know each other and talking about Visalia Unified. Again, part of what makes this such a special community are the partnerships that we have, is the involvement of the city, the involvement of our community partners, our staff that are all focused on ensuring every student has what they need to be successful, and especially our parents. Parents are their child's first and most influential teacher, and so we see many of our parents here today to watch their students perform. Thank you, parents, for coming here and being able to be part of this program. You know, California has recently launched, or maybe not too recent, but been on a journey of how can we provide educational opportunities for our youngest learners. We know that when 3- and 4-year-olds are involved in quality programs, that sets them up for success. That helps make sure they're able to read by 3rd grade. They're able to achieve. They get a leg up. And we're very proud of the expansion of our transitional kindergarten program, a new grade level within the state of California. And so we're very excited for our entertainment as we close out this amazing state of our district to hear, again, some of the talent from our students. And I'm very proud to introduce our Ivanhoe TK class to perform for us. And again, thank you all so much for being here today. All right, Ivanhoe, take it away.
Well, it doesn't take much, and it doesn't take long. No, it doesn't cost a thing, no, and there's no way to do it wrong. You can try it anytime. You can plant it where you want, and you can grow it in your heart, then give it out to everyone. Kindness, kindness, oh, whenever you find this, you will see the world's a better place. Kindness, kindness, oh, whenever you try this, you will bring a smile to someone's face. And you can put it in your words, in everything you say, in the little things you do, all throughout the day. And you can share it with your neighbor, and you can teach it to a friend, and you can show your mom and dad how the kindness never ends, yeah. Kindness, kindness, oh, whenever you find this, you will see the world's a better place. Kindness, kindness, oh, whenever you try this, you could bring a smile to someone's face. So if you see someone who's had a bad day, and you'd like to try and make them feel okay, just give a little kindness in your own way, because a little bit of kindness goes a long way. Kindness, kindness, oh, whenever you find this, you will see the world's a better place. Kindness, kindness, oh,
Thank you so much. Ivanhoe Transitional Kindergarten students, please give another round of applause for our teachers and our students and families here. That is our big grand finale. We want to thank you for joining us here this morning. Thank you so much for listening and hearing about the state of Visalia Unified. And as we wrap up today, you've heard it and you've seen it across all of the videos. You see it behind me. But just as a reminder, I think we can all feel very confident. I invite you to join in sharing either, if not the words, at least the sentiment. But that is that I believe in and I belong in. I am VUSD, and I hope that that's how you feel as well. Again, thank you so much for being here with us. We value your partnership. We are so excited about what the future holds for our community, for our children, and for all of us who have the pleasure of calling this place home. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.